All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful... Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. I do pray everybody watching and listening is super blessed, as Bitcoin is at a very, very, very key level, as can be seen from the chart here. We're going to be breaking down exactly what is happening. In fact, if we look at the title of the video today, it says, well, I guess you can't see the thumbnail here, can you? I think we could probably see the thumbnail, yeah. What is happening? You know, question mark. And of course, it's quite obvious that this fellow right here has the answer. It's quite, I mean, it's just, it couldn't be more obvious than looking at that snapshot right there of a very serious looking, no nonsense kind of guy. Now, the Bitcoin price, guys, in my opinion, is at the precipice of shooting, rocketing, blasting off through the Van Allen radiation belts straight to the moon. But a few things need to happen first. And this week and next week are some of the most exciting times I think we have for the rest of 2025. The reason is because it's no secret that our good friend Jerome Powell single-handedly is going to be changing the interest rates next Wednesday, the 17th of September. And here at CME Fed Watch, to stay up to date with the latest probabilities of the FOMC rate moves in 8 days, 5 hours, 40 minutes, and 7 seconds, 90% of the participants here are baking into the cake a 25 BPS cut. But 10% is baking into the cake a 50 basis point rate cut. Things are going to get volatile. Now, that's a very interesting situation here, because obviously everybody wants rate cuts. At least us traders want rate cuts. Normal people think they want rate cuts because they'd like lower interest, but they don't realize that rate cuts equals inflation, right? And that's exactly what we need, right? More inflation. But, you know, here's the thing. Tomorrow and Thursday, we actually do have the CPI data will be coming out. All right? This is going to be very important leading up to the FOMC, because this CPI, obviously, is going to tell us, is inflation still stable, or is it going up? Or is it going down more? Now, of course, we know this is a huge joke, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, is a large joke, right? Because in real life, inflation's way up. But on paper, inflation's going down, all right? And also on paper, when inflation goes down, then other pieces of paper, like the charts, can go up. You know what I'm saying? It's all about knowing how to manipulate the funny money game. But if inflation comes out, let's say the forecast is 0.3, right? Inflation, they're expecting it to stay the same as it was previously, right? Let's say it comes down a little bit to 0.2. Then I think we're probably going to see more people expect a 50 basis point cut. Now, again, this is a delicate situation because a lot of people would interpret a 50 basis point cut from the Fed as the Fed being scared, right? The Fed freaking out. And it's like an emergency rate cut, so to speak. So either way, like, things could get volatile either way. This could be bearish, this could be bullish, but short term is definitely going to have some volatility. All right. Tomorrow we have some news coming out as well. Wednesday the 10th, we have the PPI, so the Producer Price Index. How much are people paying for stuff? How much are people paying for products when they're preparing to push their product onto you, so you as the consumer can buy? You know, we're going to weigh how much are producers paying and how much are consumers paying. And this will set the stage for next Wednesday, the 17th, where, Lord willing, we will be streaming. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin chart, like, just alone, we are seeing some very interesting developments here. I have to remind everybody to smash the likes and FOMO into the likes, because as usual, if we can get 1,000 likes within the first half hour, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT, baby. All right. And also, guys, got to give a major shout out to the Casper Crew VIP Discord, jasoncaspertrading.com. Click the link to join. Also got to give a major shout out to KCEX, WEEX, and BLOFIN. Links in the pinned comment description. All right, got to give a major shout out to Klein Funding, crypto prop firm, discounts in the description of the video. All right, also Market Monkey order flow platform, officially partnered with Jason Casper right now. It's pretty exciting. You know, I've never partnered with an order flow platform before, but links in the description for that as well. So why is Bitcoin at a key level right now? Why is 113 to 12.8 such a key level? Well, let's take a look here. You can see that as we have come down to the low. Actually, before we talk about this, I'm sorry, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Lumbasi, who says cake ruts. Cake ruts. All right, you guys ever get into a cake rut? You eat cake for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for months. Next thing you know, you're 25 pounds overweight, pure body fat. Diabetes creeping on in, you're just in a rut. That's happened to me. Shout out to Nays Garden. I'll change my channel name to Flat Moon Theory. He believes in the flat moon. All right, the moon is up there like a flat pizza. Okay? Shout out to McCall20. My ex has always been one to get pumped up. Why not MYX? Shout out to Trueman UX28. He says rate cuts, let's go. Shout out to eBoogie. Shout out to Samuel S. Shout out to eBoogie, who says, I thought I heard everything that'll be around the webs by tomorrow. And shout out to Just Trade It, who says, Jason, what do you think about MYX pump manipulation? I don't know. Shout out to David Brumplebone, 100% not financial advice. Shout out to Gitch the Real One. eBoogie says there is no moon. Ha 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 ha. That's right, guys. The moon is simply just a hologram. Gen X Crypto says price needs to go up first. Yeah, it's very interesting. Price has been sitting still. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Make sure to smash the likes if you want to win $1,000. All right. It's a Tuesday. Thank you to everybody who's reminding me that it's a Tuesday. All right. So here we go. The price has come down to 107.2, a very key area of support. In fact, this is the area we were looking for the bounce in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. And I did let my community know that I had entered into a starter position when we were consolidating in this area. Now, this is such an important area. Let's zoom out to the daily, all right? Would you look at this, guys? Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, this is just the most fantastical thing I've ever seen in my life. The Bitcoin price is currently knocking on the door of 113.2. And again, why is this such a key level? It's because this is the value area low of the range that we have been trading since July 11th. All right. Now, if we can reclaim this key level, then we are going to get vacuum sucked right up to $118,000, the POC. And actually, the probabilities are highest, I believe, that we will actually see us come up and make a new high. All right. This is a very bullish pattern. It's called a bullish deviation, where we have a clearly defined range, a high, a low, a high, and then we come to the low, and you know, we get the bounce, but whoop, we fake out, and once we come back inside of here, boom, we shoot to the upside. It's a very bullish pattern. We see it happen all the time. All right. In fact, the last major time we saw this happen on a high time frame was back in the month of April. Right? We had this clearly defined support here. All right, and we had the clearly defined resistance right here. And what happened was we came down. We got the bullish deviation, and once we reclaimed that level, boom, new all-time highs, okay? This is why we were long in the Casper Crew VIP Discord from these areas, all right? Now, this could potentially be happening right now, and I want to take a look also at some of our indicators here, because, you know, within 11 hours right now, we are going to confirm a hidden bullish divergence on our 3-day time frame. So it's very interesting because we're seeing news events that are about to happen that are going to cause volatility, right? The events themselves are pretty neutral, right? Data coming out is pretty neutral in the short term. But when you see that you are printing high time frame bullish signals as we're starting to get volatile news coming out, then I'd say it's more probable to see a move to the upside. So a confirmed 3-day hidden bullish div here. Remember, this line that we are holding here at 107-ish is not just any old level. This is the Fibonacci golden pocket from June's low to the high. All right, so we'll put on the Fibonacci golden pocket right here. That beautiful, juicy golden pocket of golden goodness. Also, if we take an anchored VWAP from April's low, you can see also we're hitting that key support in the uptrend. All right, so we're at very key support. I mean, see, so here's the thing: when you get a bullish deviation like this, right? Once you reclaim this level here, it's Moon City, right? The opposite is true. This could be a bearish deviation. If we lose this level, it's going to be Moon City, but it's going to be like, you know, if the moon was down underneath our feet, right? If the moon was under our feet, we'd be going to the under moon, all right? The UM, as they call it. And so this is such a key level. I mean, this to me is a make it or break it level, where this is either where this uptrend from April continues, or we see some serious bearish action here. And that's not what we want to see. That's not what I want to see, guys. All right? That's not what I want to see. In fact, if this happens, and if we lose this level, I am going to be tempted to hold my Bitcoin. I'm going to be tempted to sell it, but I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to sell it all probably right here when we come down to negative $8,000, $9,000 out of fear. Okay? So I don't want that to happen. I don't want to sell the bottom after painfully holding the whole way down. So therefore, I hope we hold support. Now, again, this green dot on Market Cipher B, this is a continuation pattern. We have seen a nice bottom signal here. We got ourselves a juicy left, skinny right butt cheeks, known as a bullish divergence, but we call it the uneven butt cheek pattern. Then after this, we have seen a continuation pattern here at around 100K, where we see just clear direction on the Market Cipher B here. And now we're seeing that continuation pattern where as the price is making another higher low to key support, we're getting that lower momentum wave. So, all things considered, I'd say this does look bullish. But the one thing that everybody is obviously painfully aware of is the fact that, this is a 3-day chart, guys. So, I'm really bad at math, but 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Is 21? Yeah, 21. 21 days. Has that really been 21 days? Somewhere around there. Like I said, I did drop out of high school. In fact, the last time I was in high school, I was in Algebra 2 class with Mr. Stiero. Shout out to Mr. Stiero. If you're watching, man, I'm sure you are. And I asked to go to the bathroom. And he said, make sure to take the hall pass. So I did. I took the hall pass. And I walked out of that classroom straight to my 1993 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Actually, just Jeep Cherokee. And I drove out of that school parking lot and never came back. And I'm sorry, Mr. Stiero, I still have your hall pass. In fact, I'm looking at it right here. But because of that, I did not graduate high school. So I'm really bad at math. But yeah, so here's the thing. Once we start to reclaim 113K, we could rocket ship up. And it's clear that this is the ceiling. It's clear that this is the support resistance flip. That was an epic day when I drove out of that school because they had rent-a-cops at the high school. We called them rent-a-cops, all right? There was this one rent-a-cop, we called him Scarface. He had a scar on his face, right? He saw me, he knew what I was going to do. He knew I was going to try and leave that parking lot, right? So you know what he did? He drove his rent-a-cop car to block the entrance to the parking lot. Ha! I had a Jeep. You know what I did? I floored that thing, went over the curb. Boom, boom. All right? And I drove off, man. The best feeling in the world. Escaping from that institution. All right? So, this is where we're at with the Bitcoin price. Let's check out the weekly time frame here. Okay, so the weekly VWAP coming up. We all feel in our bones here that we're going to be getting another push to the upside. Or another big push to the upside here. This weekly, man, this could give us the push. Let's go to the 5-day. The 5-day could give us a push. I think it's going to be our final push, guys. Look, one more push, and this is going to be an extremely, very bearish looking thing here. All right, for just like this whole thing is going to be one giant bearish divergence. That's when I think the top will be in. And I'm really excited that we have this news coming on up to facilitate with the with this volatility. Even though it's literally been almost 3 weeks here, just shy of 3 weeks, that we have not been doing much. All right, it's been a very boring, difficult to trade last few weeks here. No, okay, like for me personally, it's been a very difficult time. I've taken 2 trades. One was from down here. It was the starting position that I told my community I was taking. The second one was from right here. No, it was not from there. It was from here. Yeah, it was from right here, and that one was a loss because I longed this. And you guys saw me take that loss live. All right, so I've literally taken 2 trades these past few weeks. One is the long trade that I'm in right here. Locked in a quick little $5,000 here. I've got about $300,000 in the trade right now. We'll see what happens. The second one was that loss I took. It was like a $1,700 loss. So, overall, my trading has not. I've not been trading much. Okay, thankfully, still in the green. Thankfully, I got into that long trade. But win Bitcoin. I'm going to say win. All right. Win Bitcoin. Math is racist. That is true. Math is racist. Gen X crypto. My generation believes math is racist. I hear Gen Z now is the pendulum is swinging back to the more rational side of things. But definitely, as a millennial, we did get a little crazy with that stuff, didn't we? We got a little bit crazy with all that stuff, huh? You know what I'm saying? We got a little bit crazy with that, man. But yeah. So when Bitcoin gets the move to the upside, I'm feeling that it's gonna take some other coins with it. Let's zoom into a lower time frame here. I want to go to the 1 hour. Although this has been painful price action, it's been very technical price action. We got a bounce from the macro Fibonacci golden pocket. We come up, we get a rejection from the macro value area low. And then even just yesterday, when we got that dip to the downside, you know, we bounced perfectly from the Fibonacci golden pocket. All right. Pretty perfectly from the Fibonacci golden pocket right down there, which I'm pretty sure, wasn't that the trade? Yeah. Yeah, this is the trade we gave yesterday in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, guys. If that ain't precision, I don't know what is. But yeah, yesterday we were trading at about 112.250. So move down to the golden pocket. That's where we look for our scalp long. And honestly, the scalp long is still open, and I think we could get a little bit more from here. We're going to have to wait and see. New York's going to open in about an hour. But this has been very technical price action. This in and of itself here is a sideways range. And so that gives even more. I mean, look at the confluence here. If we break up above 113,000, not only are we back inside the fair value zone of the larger range, but we're breaking out of the local range. So a lot of confluence here, guys. A lot of confluence. This is a very slow move, but I really do feel that once we get above this level, we could rocket ship up to 118,000. You know, that next big POC. If I'm not mistaken, that next big POC is also the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement from the all-time high to the low. Yeah, look at that. So, man, I'm telling you, the next big long trade we have here is going to be this. A break above 113. If we get a back test, as soon as we get that reclaim, like if we break out, dip below, as soon as we're back above, entry, stop loss, target. That's a really good risk to reward, in my opinion. A breakout and retest trade. Always wait for the retest, guys, on the breakout. I mean, do what you want, but that's a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And once we come up to that Fibonacci golden pocket, you know, it's a 4-to-1 risk-reward, give or take, which means you could take out half your trade, and you would have risked 1 to make 2, so you're already up double what you risked. You can let the rest chill for a runner. But this really is the next big area where, you know, God forbid the top is in, and this is the top, and this is our first lower low. This is now going to be our lower high at the Fibonacci 618 level, aka 618, our high school crush who broke our heart because we ended up being in the friend zone. And all our hopes and dreams of getting matching Bencoin tattoos and living happily ever after off our meme coin gains are smashed to pieces. You can see, I mean, really, you can understand the emotions that this man is feeling here just by looking at his face of loss and hopelessness. But yeah, that could lead to a rejection there. But if we do reclaim that 618, and if she actually does end up dating us when we ask her out on a date to the pizza place after school, right there in downtown Union, New Jersey, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, we're trying to get another push up right now. Let's check out the order flow. All right, let's check out the order flow here. We got to refresh it. Oh man, hang on. Let me pull it up on a different platform. Oh wait, no, we're good. We're good. Let's see what's been happening throughout the entirety of this. Okay, let's pull up. I want to pull up like the 1 hour, just to kind of see what things have been looking like this move up. So in general, especially since Saturday, we've seen an increase of open interest here. We actually have seen some buyers stepping in here. Thankfully, we haven't seen any bearish CBD divergences here. It's actually, although it's slow, there's nothing inherently unhealthy about this move. One thing we can obviously see here is that there's a lot of liquidity below these lows here. But really, interestingly enough, as far as sell orders go on the heat map, you know, we don't see any large orders until, you know, 116,000 to around 118,000. So the big orders really are going to be up here toward that next target. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more here. Yeah, also, you could consider this entire move up, ever since we bounced from 107, you could say that we do have bullish CBD here. You know, you could say we do have bullish CBD here. And give me one sec, because it's my browser does not work well. So let's pull up this here. You could say, make sure to smash the likes. We got over 1,000 people, 200 likes, man. You guys don't want a $1,000 giveaway? That baffles me. You could say that through the entirety of this, we have seen the CBD getting lower, and the open interest, it's about the same, which is bullish, right? It's not bullish, it's bullish, right? You get the difference between bullish and bullish, right? But yeah, we got ourselves that bullish CBD. Now, let's pull it back even farther here. We don't have enough data. We don't have enough data. But I would say this, from 100K to our current place, we do see even more bullish CBD. So it's very interesting times here. Let's see our April low. Yeah, the April low, not the April low. Yeah, from the June low until now, we do see some pretty bullish CBD popping on in here. All right. So it's very interesting times, guys. Very interesting times. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I know y'all can't see. I know y'all can't see right now. All right. Let's take a look at good old Ethereum. Man, ETH. Oh, ETH. Take it easy. Take it easy, ETH. You're playing with my heart. Take it easy. All right, let's see who we got in the chat here. Shout out to XZMAX, Win Lambo. Retail Ryan's looking for that Jewish CBD. Shout out to XZema who says Win Lambo. I'll never have a Lambo. All right, I'll never have a Lambo. Shout out to Bullish on Parade. Good morning. Win 98K. Man, if we can't get through 113K or 118K Bullish on Parade, yeah, we could come back down toward 97 for sure. For sure. Crypto Incognito straight out of the gym. Shout out to Nico who lives in Tom's River. Do I know the Howarths? No, I don't. And I'm not even from Union anyway. I've never even lived in Union. I just threw out a random town name here. Endorphins pumping. Gen X Crypto says he looks like he's overdosing on soy products. Who, me? Or old Jay Casper? Old Jay Casper's definitely OD on the soy, man. Am I Jewish? Look, people who know me know. All right, people who know me know. Let's see here. Let's pop back to the chart. Depends who you ask whether or not I'm Jewish. So this is ETH. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, let's take a look at this, man. Let's zoom out. Let's just get a macro perspective here on ETH. So the macro perspective here on ETH is that we are seeing multiple good things here. First of all, we are indeed seeing the breakout of, and I know the chart's a little bit sloppy here, so let me just remove these lines. We are breaking out of this very large symmetrical triangle here. Okay, it's 4-year triangle. And when we take a look at this, all right, going all the way back to March 2024, market cipher B is also breaking out of the downtrend. All right, it's very important. People don't realize the importance of weekly momentum breaking out of this trend line down here, because this is absolutely showing a change, right? This is showing the end of the consolidation. And the fact that we had a fake out here back in December 2024 and a fake out of the low, this is just the perfect scenario for now pumping. We pretty much got everybody out, right? Wreck the bulls, wreck the bears. And now we're back above. And here's the thing. The levels I had on the chart, these are actually bullish targets to the upside. All right. These are Fibonacci targets that we have to the upside for ETH. And so I don't see why we can't hit 5.5K, 6.8K, 8.5K, and moonshot $10,000. I don't see why we couldn't. If we look at this as just a basic bull flag, right, where we take our low to the high, and we go ahead and we move this here on the breakout, you can see our target is literally to the dollar, our 1.618 Fibonacci extension around $8,500, right? It's pretty much to the dollar. So all things are pointing to more upside here. Very important support for ETH, in my opinion, is going to be the $4,000 level. The $4,000 level, I have it marked out here on the chart with this green line. This is the Fibonacci Golden Pocket local. It's the last bull flag support resistance flip. And it's also where we will wreck a lot of longs who have been trying to long this area, right? We know we have stop losses under here, which means if we get a drop down, we're going to be wrecking pretty much everybody who's been waiting for the breakout. But then we get to back test the $4,000 level, which again is a 4-year support resistance flip, guys. So that could be the big one. The big one that we've all been waiting for in the event of a drop. All right, in the event of a drop, a $4,000 ETH. In the event of a drop, we're also probably going to see Bitcoin dipping back down towards $105,000. In both instances, I do think that would result in a bullish move. But when we take a look at our 2-day, we can see the momentum. The yellow line is getting higher, and the daily is what really gets me here. The daily has just confirmed a hidden bullish divergence. All right, as the price is consolidating, getting higher, we are seeing momentum making a lower wave. That is a bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence. And that could be a big bullish bounce. There's one more scenario here, which is this, okay? We take our time, and then we eventually do come back down to retest $4,000. If we retest $4,000, we're going to see something like this happen on Market Cypher B, which would also be a very hidden bullish divergence going all the way back to June 2025. So as long as we're holding above $4,000 ETH, I'm going to interpret these signals that we would be seeing here as bullish. I think it makes the most sense. And I just cannot even conceive of a world where ETH it doesn't hit at least, you know, a $5,500, you know. I mean, this double top here, come on, man. This ain't it. This is not it. This ain't it, man. That is not it. I'm sorry. That's not it. Now, you might be asking yourself, Jason, you know, aren't you just emotionally involved, wanting the ETH price to go higher? And the answer really is, yeah, I am. I'm emotionally involved. I'm financially involved in ETH big time. All right. Besides Bitcoin, ETH is the coin I hold the most of. But all things considered here, I do think it looks quite bullish. Now we go to the 4-hour time frame, and this is where now we have our local range again. So I would say this. Let's go ahead and pull the volume. Let's take a little look. Yeah. So I'd say the two areas to be looking for that long trade on ETH would be, number one, obviously the back test of $4,000. A little bit more of a bullish scenario would be just coming back down to the September lows, take out that monthly low into the value area low, and we would see our 4-hour time frame also being very bullish looking, right? We'd see this direction here as the price is getting lower. In fact, let's go ahead just for fun. Let's go ahead and see if that's any kind of fib low, like an 886 or something. I don't think so, but let's just check it. Ooh, it is the 886. Yeah, I mean, that could be pretty nice, all right? That could be pretty nice as a potential long setup within this range here. And look, if you're bearish on ETH, then I don't know why you would be right now. We haven't even had like a local change of market structure here, but the only place I could conceive of taking a short on ETH right now would basically have to be around this area here where we have our golden pocket, our 786, our high volume node of the consolidation, and the value area low of the consolidation, where we're essentially looking for a move just to take the liquidity from here and then drop it, right? So, you know, locally on ETH, I'd say around, you know, 4,200 is a place I'd be interested in a long, and then coming up around 4,650 to 4,750. I'm not saying I'd be interested in a short, because I'm not interested in shorting ETH. But if I was like a day trader or a scalper and this range continues here, that would obviously be the place to look for the range to continue, right? We have the triangle, we have the breakout, we have the rejection, we have the wreck all the longs, we have the bounce from the value area low with bullish divergences, and then we could get a breakout breaking through 5,500 toward, I'm sorry, breaking through 5,000 towards 5,500. So many fives. 555, 555, 55, 555, 55. I'd rather invest in Link. Multi-year symmetrical triangle says unavailable. Yeah, Link, I am also invested myself in Chainlink right now. Chainlink, AVAX, Solana, Matic, Ethereum, Cardano. These are the main coins that I hodl here. All right, shout out to Singularity XX. Can we look at MYX? Yeah, we'll look at MYX. Shout out to D. Lette. Coin Bureau in a late video told most alts won't get to all-time high because total market cap can't do a forex from here. So max is $2 Cardano. You know, look, we'll really have to wait and see what happens, okay? I have a hunch that we are going to see some coins pop off. Maybe not all of the altcoins like we did last time, but I think some of the big ones, absolutely. So I'm still shooting for my $5 Cardano. Right? Look, anything is possible. Anything es posible. All right, let's take a look at MYX. I've never heard of it. I'm sorry, guys. I literally live under a rock. Wow. MYX, baby. Well, let's see what happened here. Let's see what happened here. Bounce from the golden pocket. You know, that's what happened here. Man, oh man. That was a good move, huh? I mean, it looks like an epic pump and dump here. But, man, whoever was watching this lame thing here is up now almost 2,000% in 3 days. So, congratulations if you're in that. Look, these types of coins are very high risk, right? Let's be honest. They're very high risk. But let's assume we get another move to the upside. Where would we be looking? Well, the pattern is we bounce from the golden pocket, okay? So we would now be looking for a move down to around $6.90 to $7.40. That is where we would be looking, basically, all right? Just like what happened last time, we had the big breakout. We didn't even come close to support resistance flip. We bounced from the golden pocket. If we're going to have another consolidation range here, you know, and then eventually we come down to here, that's the place to look to get in for another big pumperoni. Yeah, this is a daily time frame, guys. So, like, again, if like look, these coins are obviously they carry a lot of risk. When you see 2,000% moves in literally 2 days, right? And also keep in mind, please, that we had a 3-day pump of about 2,000%, and then we had about a month of nothing, right? So everyone gets excited after the big move here, but then we could expect, if we have a month of nothing, that's going to put us right around, you know, October 9th, 10th, right? So, you know, around October 9th. If I'm not saying it's going to take that long. Again, all I'm saying is people get excited. What the heck is going on? People get excited when we get these big moves, but I mean, the chance of this continuing is very, very, very low. All right. Now, if you know something fundamentally about MEXC, I don't know, then by all means, do what you want to do. But yeah, I don't know much about it. But let's take a look. D Lete, thank you so much for the super chat. Total market cap can't do a forex from here. Yeah, it is interesting that the total market cap is very similar to what it was back in the last bull run, and most of that money obviously is in Bitcoin, right? I mean, the last cycle top we were at 3 trillion. Now we're just $800 million above what we were back then. So, you know, it does seem like a little bit crazy to expect prices to go up that high, but things could happen. All right, we could see things happen. We could see money flood into altcoins, and that could push. Because think about it, back here, Bitcoin was only $69,000, right? Which means all that Bitcoin was like half of what it is now, essentially, right? And so all that extra money was in altcoins, right? So right now, Bitcoin is carrying things. But if we start to see money come into altcoins, and it doesn't have to be all the altcoins either. Like, remember back in 2021, I mean, people were putting their money into crazy stuff, NFTs and all this weird stuff. You know, it could just be a few big ones, right? It could just be a few big ones. You know, in fact, we could see, because we're looking at a few big coins, like the top 20s, give or take, we could see total market cap not 4x and still see some high prices on assets like Cardano and AVAX and ETH, because the money's not going into Bored Apes. All right, it's institutional money going into like actual real stuff. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. And I am hopeful. I remain hopeful. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. Is my reasoning only what he sees in the charts? My reasoning is a lot of what I see. Pretty much, yeah. I'm pretty much a technical trader, so yeah, I'm a technical trader. So I don't pay attention to fundamentals. I don't know what a lot of coins are. Like, here's the thing, especially when it comes to like trading and investing. I mean, there are so many different roads you could take. So for me, you know, there's like if this box represents the totality of the crypto space and like different ways to make money, you're investing in coins 24/7 and reading all fundamental white papers and joining communities and doing all this crap, right? I literally exist right here, okay? And it's even smaller than that. It's maybe it's a little bit. I have 2 boxes, all right? One of my boxes is long-term spot trading, and my other box is short-term day trading / like swing trading, all right? So of all the different aspects of like ways to make money in crypto and things to study, I focus here and I focus here. Why? Because when you find something that works, hang on to that and don't try to overextend yourself. You know, I found something that works. I found this little secret, you know, gold mine of technical analysis and trading with risk management. So I'm not going to try and overextend myself to other areas. You know, some people may say that's dumb. For me, everything in life is a give and take, guys. You know, there's only so much energy you can expand. And right now, I'm pretty comfortable with with everything that I've got going on. I don't want to expend the mental and physical energy that it would take to do research and all this other kind of stuff. And it's too much for me, guys. Look, I got 3.5 kids. I've got a 6-acre farm. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on. You know, I'm very involved in religious community. I got a lot of stuff going on. All right. I've got a wife. You know, I've got a lot of stuff going on. All right, let's take a look at Dogecoin. Yeah, I remember the land in the metaverse. I did get some metaverse land. I said, what the heck? I still have it, actually. I haven't touched it. I don't know. Look, I do think that stuff is actually in the future. That is going to be legit. You know, as the bio-digital convergence, where humanity and technology converge into one, that is going to be a real thing. Land in the metaverse. You know, when literally everybody's like stuck in their chair and they exist completely through a digital avatar in the metaverse, it is going to be nice to own digital land and stuff, right? I mean, once your brain can connect to the computer enough to smell things and feel things and taste things, it's going to be indistinguishable from reality if we keep going this direction, right? If they know how to tickle your neurons in the right way, yeah, you bet that stuff's going to be valuable. You bet that stuff's going to be valuable when everyone's living in their smart city and real life is a dystopian nightmare, but the metaverse, you can do whatever you want. You know, where in real life you're eating gray plastic pellets that the government gives you every day for your sustenance, but in the metaverse it tastes like filet mignon. You know, because they're tickling the right neurons. I'm telling you, that stuff's going to be valuable. But it's a little bit ahead of its time here. All right, a little bit ahead of its time. So this is Dogecoin, and in my opinion, we've got ourselves a little cup and handale here. Yeah, we're just stuck on the treadmill of life. I know, right? It's so funny. It's ironic, isn't it? It is the irony of me doing all this on a treadmill is very, very strong and poignant and potent. So look, this is a Doge. This is the Doge. It's a cup and handle. All right, let's start on our monthly time frame. I actually do hold a significant amount of Doge. So we just confirmed a green dot on the monthly here. This is our first. Well, it's not our first. I'd say though we do have a nice direction here with Dogecoin, right? We do have nice direction here. We don't have a lot of data. Let's go to our 2 weeks so we can get more money flow data here. So overall, this actually looks really nice to me. Coming down to the 2023 lows, we see the money flow deep in the purple, curving back to the blue. We are seeing right now some hidden bull div, technically speaking, as we're bouncing from the local 786. And so right now on Dogecoin, the obvious resistance is going to be this diagonal resistance that we have coming back to the December 2024 highs, right? This is going to be the most obvious resistance that we have. And let's just get a target, a technical target based just simply on the breakout of the cup and handle. All right. You know what we need? We need a cup and handle specialist to come in and tell us if we're going to dump or if we're going to pump. Let's see if we can get one in.
We're going to pump. No, we're going to dump. We're going to pump. No, we're going to dump. We're going to pump. No, we're going to dump. We're going to pump.
All right, so he ended by saying we're going to pump. And I do think that we just take this here. I mean, that's going to be taking us to around $1. Let's be honest. That's taking us to around $1. All right. Which I think is a good target for Doge. Everyone thought we were going to hit $1 last time. So I don't think that's a crazy target here. Once we break of this, man, I think we can get a pump. Now let's zoom into a lower time frame. All right, by the way, major shout out to Sam Price, Crypto Lifer. All right, if you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe to him, all right? He actually is a cup and handle specialist, all right? Dude finds cup and handles. All right, no joke. Dude could be like on the 5-second time frame here, and he'd be like, yeah, it's a cup and handle. And I'm like, is that really? He's like, yeah, it's a cup and handle, trust me. Sure enough, cup and handle breaks out, right? What do you know? But let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. All right. This is our sideways range here. Let's go ahead and pull the volume. Doge is getting a little bit of a pump right now, and we're breaking above the POC of the range. Okay. So this in and of itself is bullish. This bottom right here on Dogecoin, just locally, this right here, very, very bullish. The reason is because we saw a nice momentum getting higher as the price was getting lower, just wicking out those lows by a little bit. So yeah, holding above the price of 22 cents is bullish. The problem is we're just chopping along in here, and as we're chopping, we are forming somewhat of a symmetrical triangle here, and you always got to be careful trading these kinds of things because the market maker just loves to wreck everybody, right? So unless you're like in for a quick scalp or whatever, be very careful. I would say the major resistance that we need to break is going to be 29 cents. We hold about 29, we're going up to 37, which is the value area high of the range. And once we break out of the value area high of the range at 37, we're going to be in straight rocket ship mode because we don't have any resistance here. Once we're above the trend line, it's very likely we're going to squeeze all these highs, and then we're literally in price discovery mode. Besides 73-cent all-time high, you know, there's no more resistance. There's no more resistance. So this is a very, very nice looking, in my opinion, rounded bottom consolidation. We've got ourselves a falling wedge pattern. We're seeing bullish divergences at the lows. We're seeing changes of market structure. We're seeing resistances flip into support. We're understanding if we can break the trend line and back test, you know, that 29 cent level, it's very likely that we come up to test all-time highs and above. And once we do break out of this cup and handle, our technical target is around $1. It looks really lame on log scale, but when we put it on regular scale, this is the target of our cup and handle, just around $1, like 99 cents, give or take. Yeah, but right now, you know, this move that we've seen on Doge the last few minutes, you know, if you're a low time frame trader, let's see here. Let's just go ahead and we've got ourselves the Fibonacci golden pocket support resistance flip. I mean, if you're looking for more upside on Dogecoin right now, we've got ourselves this. Let's pull the range. Yeah, beautiful. So basically we have this here, this box right here. If we're going to see more upside right now on Doge, that's going to be coming in between 24.1 and 24.3 cents for a potential low time frame scalp trade where we're basically breaking out, getting a falling wedge, bull pennant, and then boom, right? In fact, let's go ahead and pull a fib from low to high as well. And let's go ahead and put on our 382. Yeah, perfect. I mean, if this is a bull flag, we're probably going to be bouncing right from this box where we have the local golden pocket, the macro 382. I mean, just so much confluence right there, man, in this box between 24.1 and 24.3 cents. You know, just trading the local breakout and back test of this range here on Dogecoin. What's my favorite canning recipe? I don't know. My wife does all that. Okay, we're going to give away some eggs in the Casper Crew Discord, all right? Today, guys, in the Casper Crew Discord, we have a code, and the code is Casper Crew, all right? If you're new, here's what we do. In the community, we reward people for providing value to the community, all right? So, I guess... Wow, you guys could see everything there, huh? That's a little bit invasive. But yeah, basically what we do here is in the Casper Crew, if you're in the free or VIP crew, come over here, go to quests, all right? And right now, click this button claim and type in the word Casper Crew, all right? So you're going to click claim right here, and you're going to enter the code Casper Crew, and you're going to get eggs, all right? You have to join the Discord first. If you're a VIP, you get 5 times the eggs as a regular Discord member. Click the link in the description of the video to join the free Discord if you're not already in the community. And basically what happens is you're going to be able to redeem these eggs for entries into raffles, to win prizes, raffles, prizes, all that kind of good stuff. Cash giveaways, all right? Like giving away thousands of dollars, all that kind of good stuff. So make sure to check it out, all right? So the code is Casper Crew. Shout out to Franz Dip, who says SPX 6900, please. Yeah, let's check out SPX 6900. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, wow. Okay. This looks actually nice here, only because, you know, last time we were looking at this wedge saying, you know, if we get the breakout and the retest, that could be nice. But look what's happened here. We've actually broken down below the wedge, and now we're breaking back out. So this actually does look bullish here. I'm not gonna lie. This does look pretty bullish. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's check it out. Man, that looks pretty bullish. We have hidden bullish divergence here. Pretty big hidden bullish div here. And we are reclaiming this value area high. So we dip below. This is basically a retest. And this is a really nice looking retest here. All right. And we've locally kind of changed structure. I mean, so one of two things here. You know, thing number one, wait for a retest, the back test again, get another move down, and hold this support resistance flip. Or, you know, a more aggressive entry, which if we're shooting for the all-time high, it's not the best risk to reward right now, to be honest with you. But if we're shooting for a really big new all-time high, let's go ahead and pull a Fibonacci trend base. Okay, so if we're shooting for a 1-to-1 extension here, that is a 4-to-1 risk reward right now, and that would be around $3. Basically, we're looking for a 1-to-1, right? We're looking at this as our impulse, we're looking at this as our retrace, and then we're looking for an equally large move to the upside as we got in the first impulse here. 1-to-1. That's a 4-to-1 risk reward. Let's check out. It looks really nice. I love how the money flows. Holding the zero line there. Let's check out our 3-day. Ooh, man, the 3-day looks really good here. It looks good, I'm not gonna lie. But again, just be aware of the risks involved here. If we're getting in now, it's not the best risk to reward. Ideally, we would wait for a back test of around, you know, $1.23, because if we can wait until $1.23, then we have ourselves an entry, a stop, and our target being the previous all-time high is a 5-to-1 risk reward. All right, so that means our final target of the 1-to-1 is now going to give us, we're risking 1 to make 9 instead of risking 1 to make 4. That's literally the difference between entering now and waiting for a back test, right? Basically, it's a 5% difference on our profit. Assuming you're risking 1% and you're looking to either make 4% or 9%, depending on your entry. Isn't that crazy how literally, like, the difference of, I mean, that's a 13% difference, let's be honest. This is a massive percentage move here. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. I do have to say, it looks definitely way more bullish than bearish here. This looks really good. The 5-day, the 4-day looks great. The 3-day looks great. I mean, everything looks like we can get a big push to the upside here. Oh, it has a Coinbase spot listing in 2 hours. Do not buy now. Okay, I didn't know this. Rand's dip. I didn't read your whole comment. It has a Coinbase listing in 2 hours. Oh, man. Okay, nah, I wouldn't touch this thing. I would not touch this thing. I would wait for a pullback. I would wait for the pullback. Coinbase listing in 2 hours. I would wait for that pullback here. I would wait for the pullback, come back down to around $1.20, $1.23. And I would want to see it pull back, and I'd want to see it bounce. Yeah, I mean, look, 2 hours, Coinbase listing. Yeah, not the best thing, honestly. It's not the best thing, to be honest. Yeah, Discord is free, but the VIP is not free, alright? So, VIP is not free. Shout out to Dano Crypto in the chat. Can you eat the eggs? No, but you can redeem them for money, and the money you can use to buy eggs. Or you could buy chickens which lay eggs. So, there's nothing wrong with using your crypto coins to get real eggs. Shout out to Valerie Venezuela. What's up, Valerie Valenzelua? Shout out to Food is Life. He says Lifer is weird. I would love to check him with some holy water for burns. Holly water? Holly water? Not sure where that is. Shout out to Pasternak 88. Treadmill walking is not good for you. Better to do a run and be done faster. I feel the opposite, Pasternak 88. I feel like going for a run is really hard on your limbs. When you go for a run and you're sore the next day, man. And the human body was made for walking, right? They're made for walking. And primarily the way people traveled, if they didn't have a horse, was walking. That's kind of what we're made for. We can walk, and we can walk for a long time. And we can walk for a long time even if we don't have much energy, right? You try and run, if you don't have a lot of carbs stored up, you're going to get tired quick. But you always have energy to walk, you know? It's very low impact on the joints. And I think it even aids in recovery, all right? You got some sore hamstrings, some sore quads, sore glutes, go for a walk. You know, get the blood flow up in there. You go for a run, think of all that impact. You know? I'd much rather walk than run. I hate running. In fact, I used to be a runner, believe it or not. When I was in middle school. Not middle school, probably high school. My early teens, when I first decided to get in shape, I became like a long distance runner. I used to run at least 2 miles a day, at least 2 miles a day. Usually more toward 5. And, man, I look at people running now. If I'm like driving, I see people running, I feel so sorry for them. I'm like, oh, man, it's a horrible thing. I hate running. I hate running. The only time I run is I do hill sprints. I do hill sprints on my property. That's about it. Hill sprints. You don't always get sore from running, just jog. Well, if you don't run, you get sore from running. You know. If I were to go for a 2-mile jog right now, do you know how sore I don't know, what is that called? The front of your shin muscle would be tomorrow? It'd be so sore. My back would be sore. My lower back would be sore. You know, it just wouldn't be good. But shout out to ICG who walks every day. But look, yeah, no, you do what you want to do. Like, that's the thing. Everyone do what you guys want to do. For me, I found the secret. You know, we were talking about the secret that I found here. My little niche to make money in crypto. I found my little secret in life to feel good, to have energy, to be leaner than 95% of people, more jacked than 95% of people, and eat more food than 95% of people. And that is a walking desk, you know? That is a walking desk. All right, Alexander says, when I pull the fixed range volume profile from the end of July to the daily and go to a lower time frame, it changes. What are you doing wrong? Well, there's one of two things. Either you're on the you're either on a different pair than what I am, or sometimes just because of the way the candles are and the row size and the way it calculates, it will change. In general, I recommend doing like a 10-minute to like 1 hour time frame. I trust you, Pasternak88. You know, I trust you, man. Whatever works for you, you keep doing that thing, man. You know, God bless you, man. May God bless you. May He bless your running. May He bless your running, and may you have with long life, may He satisfy you and show you His salvation. May He show you His Yeshua, and may He satisfy you with long life, man. You know, I whatever works for you, man. You know, this whole health thing is such a difficult path to travel. And I'm sure there's a lot of individuality in there as well, all right? So, may the Lord bless you, bro. You're a 48-year-old marathon runner. Okay, well, cool, good, man. I'm definitely not a marathon runner, okay? Definitely not, so. All right, Jeremy, his secret is steroids from Tijuana. That's awesome. You know? Yeah, blue light glasses. Yeah, I used to actually stream with them. In fact, I used to have thumbnails with them, but, you know, I lost them. Lost them. He bless you with long legs. That's funny. Yeah, living is dangerous. Everyone dies. Yeah, for sure. Living is dangerous. Everyone dies. You know, that's why, for me, like, life is so meaningless if you don't have a relationship with the Lord. If you don't have a relationship with God, life is so meaningless. It's short, it's painful, it's sad, it's cruel, and then you die. Right? So if you don't have a relationship with God, and if you don't have an eternal hope, man, life is very dismal. It is a dismal existence. Crypto24 only runs after he eats Taco Bell. Man, I'll never forget this one time. You know, back when I was a younger man, and I was into dieting to try to get lean. Right? Nowadays, I eat a lot to get lean, but back in the day, I used to restrict calories to get lean and eat, you know, very little. And I remember this one time, I had to cheat after dieting down to low body fat percentage, right? I decided to, with my friends, go to Taco Bell and eat whatever I wanted, okay? And let me tell you, when you are dieted down and lean, you can eat a lot, okay? And I have never been on the toilet longer in my life than that night. And I will tell you also that I lost all feeling in my legs from them falling asleep on the toilet. Shout out to the future West. He says, nihilism is the only thing that's real. Yeah, if not for Jesus, I would be a nihilist. Those are the only two logical, in my opinion, perspectives to hold to. Either belief in the biblical God who's made himself known through Jesus the Messiah, who offers us eternal life and eternal hope, and the opportunity to be born again as a new creation, so that we can exist in the way that we were created to exist, in fellowship with God, ruling and reigning with the Creator, or complete nihilism, you know, where literally nothing matters. Those are the only two logical perspectives in my mind. It's always so strange to me how you know, and I don't mean any offense if you happen to be an atheist or whatever, but I don't understand how atheists can find any value or meaning in life. And it's always such a contradiction to me when you see, like, people who don't believe in a God, like, speaking out against, like, suicide and other, like, bad things. Like, there's no such thing as bad. There's no such thing as good. You know? It's such a contradiction. Nihilism is the only logical perspective to take in the absence of a creator. But praise God, there is a creator, and praise God, he's made himself known to us. You know? Yeah, Shlomo, he had everything, and he concluded everything is vanity and chasing the wind. I a lot of times feel like Shlomo. There's nothing in this life that can satisfy you. There's nothing that this world has to offer that can satisfy you on the deep level that Jesus can satisfy you. Because any goal you have, you're either going to die trying to achieve that goal, or you're going to achieve that goal and realize, now what? And you're going to realize that that thing you were chasing after that you thought was going to give you some kind of, like, I made it, now I can relax. Now I can enjoy. You realize that's not real. That's not real. That's not true. That's not reality. Anything you have, anything you can acquire, any kind of status you can attain to, it's nothing. And at the end of the day, look, life is short, right? You're going to live for pleasure? That gets old quick, man. You're going to live for money? It's not going to satisfy you. The only thing that can satisfy you is a relationship with the Creator. That's because that's what you were created for. God created man, and he put him in a garden to have fellowship with him, right? The Lord created a place for him and humanity to exist together. That's what we're created for. That's the only way you're going to find that deep peace and satisfaction and that feeling of rest. Of like, now I can relax because all my ducks are in order. You know? Can we check the Bitcoin mascot? What's the Bitcoin mascot, Glenn T? At least you're promised heaven if you believe. It's more than just heaven. Like, that's the thing. You're not promised heaven. You're promised eternal life where you get to live with your Creator in a family. In a family. Right? A divine family. And women ruined everything. Actually, it was the man who ruined everything, if you think about it. Eve ate the fruit, but nothing happened until Adam ate the fruit. It was Adam's job not to mess up. You know? What about the Anunnaki? Yeah, they're real. They're real. They're demonic entities that entered into our dimensionality, if you will, to try and mess things up, right? Yeah, the Bible talks about the Anunnaki. It calls them the sons of Anak. Do we need likes for a giveaway? Well, we did need 1,000 likes for a giveaway in the first 30 minutes, but we don't have it. What is the Bitcoin mascot, Glenn T? Does anyone know what the Bitcoin mascot is? Okay, it's a coin symbol called Biddy. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, let's check out this. Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a pump right now. New York's about to open in 1 minute, so let's see. We'll check out Biddy. Thank you for that. The Bitcoin mascot. Let's check it out on the daily. I mean, a simple little bull flag here. We do have a pretty bearish divergence on the daily, to be fair. But let's go ahead and pull our fib low to high. Okay, so you know what would be nice? Speaking of these golden pocket liquidity grabs, wreck everybody. Come down to the golden pocket and then get a reclaim here of about. Here, actually, let's clear this off. All right, let's mark our low. Range low, golden pocket pull. This would be our box of desire. Our box of desire right here. That would be nice, honestly. Wreck everybody. Bounce from the golden pocket. Or I guess we do have another wick. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong. So we have another wick here. Hang on. What the heck? Hang on. Yeah, so maybe we come a little bit lower than that, actually. Yeah, okay, so I would say then let's move our box down a little bit. This would be an ideal, you know. That would be really nice. Wreck everybody. And then get the bounce. On log scale, that would look something like this. Is this log? Yeah, this is log. That looks something just like this. Doop, doop. Mr. Sailor, Mr. Gates are not human? You think? Bill Gates is a weird guy, you know? Oh, the Bitcoin mascot is Michael Saylor. Yeah, if Michael Saylor ever, if MicroStrategy ever hints at the fact that they might have to sell Bitcoin or something, or does sell Bitcoin, make sure to buy as much as you can, honestly. Make sure to buy as much as you can. You know, thoughts on the hack? What hack? Was there a hack? Shout out to Marcus. God bless you, Marcus. Thanks for being here. Do I like the Apocrypha books? Yeah, oh yeah, I love them. I love them. I mean, I enjoy the Old Testament Apocrypha. The New Testament Apocrypha is not legitimate. It's all like middle age, like fake books. But the OT Apocrypha, you know, stuff you'd find in the Septuagint, I like those books for sure. How about a CDW, the triple top? Are you talking about for Biddy? For Bitcoin mascot? Yeah, that would also make for a good short trade. All right, let's be honest. You know, we reverse the idea, and yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We reverse it. And we have some pretty bearish divs here. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, both of those. I mean, really, look, it's a sideways range. The two best trades are range high and range low, right? That's pretty much with every asset. You know what I'm saying? Is the Book of Enoch real or fake? I mean, it's a real book. It's a real book. The version we have today, probably, in the way we have it, goes back to around, you know, let's say 250 BC. Do I believe it contains true information? Yeah, absolutely I do. Do I believe it's prophetic in nature and even divinely inspired? Personally, yeah. Personally, yes, I do. That's just my own personal view on it. All right. You want to start reading the Bible? What Bible do you recommend? Well, if you're going to read an English Bible, honestly, the Bible I would recommend for somebody getting into the Bible for the first time as an English speaker is the New Living Translation. All right, Alan, the New Living Translation, the NLT, because the NLT, it's not a literal translation of the Greek and the Hebrew. All right? It's more of a thought-for-thought translation, a paraphrase, if you will. But in my opinion, they do a really good job at supplying you with more details that are necessary for you to understand the passage without you having to actually go and do your own research, right? Or learn things about, like, the original languages, you know. So that would be a great place to start. All right. The New Living Translation. I would recommend that to new Bible readers. You know? Again, it's not a literal translation. It's more of a thought-for-thought paraphrase. But they supply information that might be hard to understand if you were to read a literal translation. And you can always go on the internet to go to like Bible Gateway, and you can read, you know, 150 different translations on there of the original languages, you know, so you could look at them side by side. And you could read the New Living Translation also for free on the internet. So like Bible Gateway, you could check it out. The New Living Translation. You could pretty much read it in any language, right? Espanol, you know, all languages. You could read it in whatever language you want, you know? Chinese, you know, a little Chinese if you want. Oh man, now it's stuck in Chinese and I don't know how to get back to English. Oh no. But yeah, Bible Gateway, you can read them all for free. Shout out to Posty. Oh, Bitcoin. You meant Bitcoin. We could check it out. Yeah, or you can get a Bible app. I mean, personally, I use something called Accordance, which costs a lot of money. All right, Accordance Bible software, it does cost a lot of money. In fact, if you were to buy everything, it's a library of literally millennia of books that you have access to. If you were to buy everything that they have to offer, it would be costing you close to like $200,000. All right. But Accordance, if you really want to get into Bible study, man, Accordance or Logos, that's where you want to go. But free stuff, a free app, Blue Letter Bible, is great if you want to dig into the original languages. Blue Letter Bible, it's a mobile app. It's on the web as well, where you can look at the original Greek and Hebrew and Aramaic, and do like word searches and all that. Blue Letter Bible is great for free. If you really want to go deep, Accordance, that's where it's at, man. But yeah, so let's take a look at Bitcoin here. I love Accordance, all right? It's insane, the amount of knowledge that you have available at your fingertips with Accordance. I mean, literally, I have the entirety of the Dead Sea Scrolls available for me to look at whenever I want, where I can search in canonical order. I could search by manuscript, where every single every single scroll where they found any portion of Isaiah, for example, written, you can see what they all say. You could look at the Targums, all the different Targums in the Aramaic or English translations of them, like everything. You could look at the Septuagint. You could look at the Samaritan Pentateuch. You know, pretty much anything you can get and look at with the click of a button. It's really cool if you're doing deep study, right? So yeah, absolutely for Bitcoin, a triple top. Is possible. Have I ever read the Sefer Bible? Yeah, honestly, like with all due respect, the person that produced that Bible is like kind of honestly just a complete fraud. Doesn't know Hebrew. It's very strange. Claims to know Hebrew, doesn't know Hebrew at all. And yet we're supposed to trust his translation of the Bible. It's honestly ridiculous. And anyone who knows, like, anyone who's taken, like, literally one semester of biblical Hebrew knows this guy's full of it. All right? But yes, a CDW of the all-time high. Look, I'm not looking for Bitcoin to come much higher than around $130,000. But if you want to get the Sefer Bible just so that you have the Apocrypha and Enoch all in one spot, you know, by all means, go for it. Just know that the guy who produced it is a wacko. All right, legit. There's no other nice way to say it. All right, Jason Casper gives it to you straight. He doesn't give it to you gay up in here. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most likely scenario. By the time we're making a new all-time high on Bitcoin... Oh, wait, you guys can't see. Crap. By the time we're making a new all-time high on Bitcoin, all right? This is the most likely scenario. We're going to have multiple drive of bear div on the weekly. I think the next all-time high is the all-time high for the cycle. Let's just put it that way, you know? Let's just put it that way. Does anyone trade Adam and Eve patterns anymore? I see a lot of people trade Adam and Eve patterns. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Alexander says, your question is, are we looking to break above the triple top or make a CDW? I would say it's likely that we break above, hold above for a little bit, you know, just form a little bit of range, very similar to what happened here. But then I think that the breakdown is going to be the final breakdown. So we form a little range, hold above, come here, boom, right? That's what I think is going to happen. I do think we're going to have a bear market. This is my current view. I don't think that I don't think we're gonna have a super cycle. I know some people do. Like I had Daniel from Chart Champions on 2 weeks ago. He thinks we're gonna rally until the end of 2026. So look, there's other views out there. But yeah, I think that next high we make, I think the bearishness that we're seeing here on the chart is just too much now. It's become unsustainable. You know, when you have multiple drive of bear div on the monthly, it becomes unsustainable. I think this last big push is going to be the top. How much is VIP? It is $65 a month. The Complete Jewish Bible has the best translation. Okay. I'm really not a fan of it. I'll be honest with you. I'm really not a fan of it. I do appreciate some of its... It's a paraphrase, let's be honest. It's a paraphrase, and they insert quite a bit into the text in order to make it say certain things, which things I happen to agree with most of the time. But I still don't... It's not the best translation, let's put it that way. It's not a good translation. It's a good commentary, let's put it that way. It's a commentary. It's not a translation, all right? Yeah, if you're looking for a good translation where it's like actually a word-for-word translation, you got to stick to one that claims to be a more literal translation, you know? Or just learn the Hebrew and Greek, honestly. That's what you really got to do. What if we get 3 rate cuts? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that far, to be honest with you. Alright guys, I have to head out because I got some family stuff to do. So may the Lord Jesus bless you all, and I pray that the Lord reveals himself to each one of us in a very real, personal way. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!